Photoshop comes with lots of great filters. One of those is neural filters, which includes lots of different options. So filter and then neural filters. And here you've got all these filters available, style transfer, etc. But there's also colorize, and it can be used to colorize black and white images into a color image. Now it's not perfect, doesn't always generate really great results. And you can always contact, of course, Adobe if you want to say it isn't perfect. To use it, just click here, Colorize. Now you can see I've got a black and white picture here of my nan, and I assume her mum. And just click Colorize. Have to actually start it up. If you haven't got it, you'll have to download it. Often there's a little option here to download. Okay, it's done it. Black and white. It's turned it into, I think, a passable colorization. Now, these pictures are not really great to start with. I mean, they're quite often very small file size. You've got maybe 1,000 by 1,000 if you're lucky, and they're pretty blurry. And it's done well with the colour of the sky. Now, I have no idea about the clothes. Now, this could be green, could be red. It's decided it's a blue, but it often makes a bit of a mistake with some of the colour. It sort of leaves it near enough black and white. Can't decide. Now this bench is brown. In some parts it's given it as a sort of red. So it's made a few mistakes there. I think it was probably likely brown. Now the ground, I think obviously that's grass, and therefore it's made it sort of green, which is good. Okay, so it's done that. And to apply it now, all you need to do is just click OK. But there's some options here along here. You can manually colour the image. You can click on it. So you can just click there and you can say, oh, I want go for red there. And then it will process it. And you can see it's tweaked it. You might remember that it's red. I honestly cannot say if it was red, green, etc. But you can see you can click on it. Maybe go over here and you can then click maybe here. And now just click here and I'm going to go with blue. Click OK. And then it makes a decent correction to that. I think it probably was blue. Obviously, this probably wasn't red and blue. Certainly it was all one colour. But you can modify the strength. You can also remove. So it does allow for some tweaking, which is really good. Also, you can set profiles. So you can go here. Some of these I find them slightly not great. Retro red, I guess if you want to apply a sort of unusual filter on them, you've got that option there. But there's also tweaks here where you can really push up saturation. So you can increase it. You can see there, the result is very heavily saturated. Doesn't look very natural. And I'm certain that no one would accept that. Looks like they've been very sunburnt. Also, cyan and red, you can tweak these. You can modify in all kinds of different ways. So there's a lot of options here for the colour. Again, it's not perfect. The results, again, you can tweak and modify to create. And I think that grass looks even lovely green now. There's also options here for colour artifacts. I haven't really noticed much difference. Depends obviously on the image. But also output options. This is quite an interesting one. Output as new colour layer. So if you click there and it generates this, which is pretty garish, but could prove useful in some projects. I've never actually used it, so I just want to point out you can do that. Also, you've got options down the bottom here. By default, it goes for new layer, which I find slightly frustrating. Personally, I wish it just did it as the current layer, as the default, but it does new layer, which means you can blend. So if you click OK now, you can then blend it. Likewise, you've got smart filter as well. So it makes it a smart filter. And again, you can blend it, apply effects and modify those effects. Also, you can put it to a new document, which perhaps may be the most useful. But right, let's just click with new layer and click OK. And you can see the result of that. You've got that. And then if you go over here to layers panel, you've got an option with layer and you've got the original. So let's just click on there. You can see now that. That's great. You can also apply some effects. You can tweak things and also blend, maybe go here, darken. You can just run through this. Maybe some look slightly more natural or not than others, depending what you want to achieve with this. If you want sort of weird visual effects. you can certainly achieve it by this. However, let's just go to a completely ridiculous example now, like this. You're thinking, well, that's really not much use. It's already clearly in colour, but you can colorize an image that's in colour. And it's quite interesting to create odd visual effects with this. So let's just go for this now. Just going to use this one filter. It's an Adobe stock image. Free. You can download it. Go to obviously Adobe stock and you can find it. Filter and neural filters. Now, because this image is pretty sharp, obviously it's about 6,000 or whatever it is in size, it's quite high res, and you can go down here to colorize. Again, it doesn't activate it. I wish it would put it at the top. If you use a filter, it really should shove it to the top. Makes no sense why it doesn't. However, colorize. Then now you can see what it's done. It's got, here's the original over here, and I've got here blue, and it's changed it. And again, things like this profiles, you can tweak it. Retro red, let's just go for that. And then you get a slightly very odd pink effect added there. And again, you can go here, retro faded. There's retro denim, which I never think really makes it look very denim-like. But you get that sort of effect. You can also, of course, here, noise reduction. You can tweak various things here. Will it make much difference? It takes a bit of time to process it. I think it looks slightly more sort of plasticky. It's sort of blurred it out a bit using that. So I don't particularly want that. But you can see there's some options there. Again, you can use these output options. And right at the bottom, you've still got these options here. Now you can put it to current layer. You can also do it to new layer and smart filter, etc. Exact same as before. So current layer, I'm going to go with, it's going to put it to the current layer. It'll overwrite it. But you can fade. You can go to the edit menu and you can fade. So you can use blending if you want, opacity, etc. Right, we've got this effect now. And I can just click on this, click OK and process it. But you can also go up here. Let's just click on here. You can see the blue there, click there. And now let's just put that to green. Let's go for green. So green, click OK. And you can see now you get a green shirt. Maybe not great, and it's decided this part isn't going to be turned into green. Maybe the background, so you can click here. You've got this obviously bright sort of orangey background, click there, and you get this weird green because it's got obviously gone for that as well. Click there, and maybe I might go for, say, black. Let's just try it. Click OK. And again, it will process it. That results in just a grey effect. And you can, of course, tweak the strength and reduce it down and so on. So you can really tweak the image in quite a lot of ways using this approach. However, I'm just going to go with what we've got currently on the screen. So I'm just going to click OK. So click OK and you've got that. You may think, well, that's not much use. It's colorized it. I think it's an interesting way of sort of creating some odd color combinations, but you can achieve probably much the same using image adjustments with a bit of tweaking things. But it's interesting to explore things. One of the features that I find always frustrating about Adobe ones is that they don't allow for randomization. For me, I love experimenting with sort of creative options, just randomize it, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and going back and so on and so on. Just running through things, trying out different combinations. I wish they would add more of that, but they don't. So edit and then fade neural filters. So you can always use this. If you go for the new layer option, you can't do that. New layer means you just get a new layer. This is not available to fade, but you can, of course, go to the layers menu and then you can just blend there. So let's fade this neural filter and then go to, say, darken. So you can try out different things, multiply, and you can see you can create some interesting color variations again on this image. Perhaps not for everyone, but still it's an option there. Maybe lighten and so on. Maybe go full difference. Difference is probably not going to result in anything that great. So I'm just going to, again, go back to normal, but you could use opacity as well and click OK. Now you can, of course, go from here. Do it again. Now filter, and you can always just run it here, neural filters. So let's just do it, just try it. neural filters. What will it do? It now changes it again. Filter, neural filters. Now, I don't think the quality of the image probably improves very much, and you can see it generally degrades more and more, but it could be used for some very unusual effects. And I think, again, you could obviously apply it 5 or 10 times, maybe create an action where it runs through, repeats this over and over again, and creates some interesting color combinations. And again, just apply it again. Well, at this point, another option perhaps could be done. Maybe go, instead of using color, you could go over to image and adjustments. Now I could go all the way back to the original image, but I'm not going to do that. But adjustments and black and white. And you can see, obviously, I've created a bit of ugliness there. It's not great, but let's just tweak this. And you can see, oh, don't want to push it that far. That's one thing, unfortunately, with these neural filters. Sometimes the results are not always as sharp as possible. It does always add some weird artifacts, but I'm just going to go with the black and white now. Let's go to filter, and now you can run filter this one without tweaking anything. So let's see what it generates. And it's come back with an interesting, normally seems to get the face reasonably okay, the colours. The shirt is gone completely apart. It's also degraded. I think some of the area around here looks a bit, starting to look rougher and rougher. But you can see you can go from a black and white image that's obviously been converted from the colour and go into colour again. Of course, another option, you could always go here, filter, neural filters, maybe use this Colorize. Again, click here again. Let's just run through and see what it does once it processes it. Yes, it's done that colouring. Now that's very subtle. It's starting to look like an old time photo. I mean, this is a sort of image I think that I would see in a 1960s sort of football magazine. You'd see it in sort of these old, I don't know what it was, sports ones that you would get, topical, whatever. I think that sort of look that you used to get. Not every picture was colorized properly. I think the colors were always a bit odd. However, what you can do, of course, there's the options down the bottom. So you've got output. So I've got current layer. You can also put it new layer mask, but also you can put it smart filter. So smart filter, you could do that. But I'm going to go with new layer. So new layer, click OK. And I could have tweaked other things. I could try to mess around with the colours. Starting to look like a West Ham. Maybe was obviously one of those footballers for the English World Cup back in '66. Okay, you got a new layer. And you can then combine it with the previous layer. Of course, if it had been the colour image at the start, which you can, of course, bring back. You can always go over the library. That's where it is, stored away in my libraries. Adobe stock, generally, got them here, which is great. Bring them back in again. But let's just go up here. And now, of course, you've got blend modes. So you can darken, go through multiply and see different colour effects. But also, you can apply filters. You could turn it into a smart filter. So layer, and just go down here to smart objects, convert to smart object. And now filter, and maybe go with blur. And I'm going to go with Gaussian blur, but there's lots of other blurs, of course, you could use. You could use blur gallery, etc. So Gaussian blur, and now you get this weird sort of unusual blurred effect. You've still obviously got the image, and you've still got the smart filter, and you can go and tweak it as well. Okay, now you've got this Gaussian blur, and of course it could be other filter effects as well, along with the options here to blend, and you can combine in different ways to create some really quite unusual color effects like that. So that's Colorize. There's probably even more features you can do with it. I think one thing lacking with Colorize would be nice if there was some source material option. Many of the neural filters have that feature where you can use another source, where it's from another layer or another document, etc. This doesn't appear to have that option, which is, I think, a slight oversight. I would have thought that it could be used to influence the final outcome. So if you want to take colors from the image, you could have some source images that you could use, like reference points that it could use to maybe colorize black and white imagery, particularly in a particular way. I'm surprised they haven't got that option. But perhaps these filters can be updated. One great thing about all these filters, if you go to filter and neural filters, let's just go into neural filters now, and you can of course go into this. This will be added to the smart filter, but let's colorize again. You can click there and you can see you can tweak it, change it even more. A great thing about this is with these options, there's at the bottom, there's a yes or no. Are you happy with this? Adobe have got this option where you can contact them and say, no, I'm not happy with it. We received your rating. What went wrong? Please explain further. Being a bit unfair, I'm not unhappy with it, but I just wanted to click it, and you can see filter does not work. Filter made the image worse. Perhaps that's what it does. These things need to be reported to Adobe, and hopefully they will correct it. They will tweak it, look at it, say, you know what? Yes, things could be improved. And you can always type a response here and also include the image with feedback as well. I'm going to skip that. I don't want to do this, and close it. So that is the Colorize filter. Certainly there's many other great things you can do with it. Perhaps not the most obviously useful filter for many things, but if you're colorizing obviously old photos, it's going to be super useful. There's probably other tools out there that may be better or worse. Please put in the comments below if you know of any great tools that you think are better than this Colorize. Always great to know. And also, of course, other features that you would love to see in it. Be wonderful to know as well.